I think we're back. I'm pretty sure we're back. Okay, and you've all heard the intro before. This is now officially part 2. Now, we're at the break, and because it took me 10 minutes to start everything back up, we're
going to take a break.
We're
not going to take a break.
No, we're not going to take a break.
Why would we take a break? We just had a break.
We just had a break. We had a 10-minute break. Did we have a 10-minute break?
If we wanted a 10-minute break, what we do... So here's what we do at SHR. And for those of you that don't know,
listen,
what
if you can tell me what we do at SHR, I want to hear what we do at SHR.
Yeah, ready?
Okay, please.
So BZ and I are tired of these 2-minute breaks. I mean, it's really just not enough time to do anything. So we concocted this scheme, and we were like, listen, we deserve a 10-minute break. Union rules. After all,
yeah, listen.
With 2 hours of work, we need 15 minutes. In order to get 15 minutes, we need one 10-minute break coupled with our 3 other commercial breaks of 2 minutes apiece. It takes us really 1 minute over, which we're okay. So to get our full 15-minute in per our union contract, which we may or may not have.
We
may or may not have that.
We are members of IBEW, are we not? The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, which covers radio personalities. And we are personalities, are we not?
Not professional ones, but we're personalities.
We're personalities.
Okay. And
so we deserve a break today.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we are entitled.
Oh, hell yeah.
We are entitled to a break. As a matter of fact, I'm tired.
On your break, what did you do?
I unpacked the new nap pod that we got.
Okay.
For the office.
The new what?
The nap pod.
Nap pod?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be required for our breaks.
Oh, you mean the nap pod?
Yes. What did you think I said?
Okay. No, I thought you said nap pod.
Nap pod.
Right.
Yes.
Right. No, I thought you said nap pod.
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, it's totally different than what I said.
Okay.
Nap
You're
pod.
Right. They're.
So yeah, that's kind of what we're moving towards. That we realize that the millennials have something. We should be entitled also because we're entitled to be entitled.
You went to the nap pod. I went outside.
No. I went to the nap pod. Yeah, not the nap pod.
Nap pod. And I went outside and had a cigar.
You did, and by the way, you also had, and I haven't really seen it, but you had a nice, 3-4 fingers of bourbon.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, whatever.
Okay, so to all the stellar individuals who are in chat still, Alaskan, Mike, Simone, and Clint is Pilau.
Yes.
Okay.
Clint is Pilau.
So, dare I do this again?
No, you crashed the damn system last time.
So we can't hear...
Okay, do it.
We can't hear Jack Webb?
Do it. Yeah, let's do Jack Webb.
Okay.
Because
I think we were pretty safe when we got who's on first?
Yes.
I don't think we got a portion of Drag.
And by the way, I want to pick the gauntlet up on this one.
Okay. All right. Okay, here we go.
The story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
This is such a classic bit.
This is the city.
Ed.
Los Angeles, California. Some people rob for pleasure. Some rob because it's there. You never know. My name's Friday. I'm a cop. I was working the day watch out of robbery when I got a call from the Acme School Bell Company. There'd been a robbery. There's been a robbery. Yes, sir? What was it? My clappers. Your clappers? Yeah, you know those things inside a bell that makes them clang? The clangers. That's right, we call them clappers in the business. A clapper caper. What's that? Nothing, sir. Now, can I have the facts? What kind of clappers were stolen on this caper? They were copper clappers. And where were they kept? In the closet. Uh-huh. You have any ideas who might have taken the copper clappers from the closet? Well, just one. I fired a man. He swore he'd get even. What was his name? Claude Cooper.
Of course.
You think he...
That's right. I think Claude Cooper copped my copper clappers. Kept in the closet.
You know where this Claude Cooper is from?
Yeah. Cleveland.
That figures. That figures.
What makes it worse, they were clean.
Clean copper clappers.
That's right.
Why do you think Cleveland's Claude Cooper would cop your clean copper clappers kept in your closet?
As we said, if folks think that was good, it's getting better.
Only one reason.
What's that?
He's a kleptomaniac.
Who first discovered the copper clappers were copped?
My cleaning woman. Clara Clifford.
That figures. Now let me see if I got the facts straight here. Cleaning woman Clara Clifford discovered your clean copper clappers kept in a closet were copped by Claude Cooper, the kleptomaniac from Cleveland. Now, is that about it?
That's pretty
damn good.
That's impressive.
One other thing.
What's that?
If I ever catch kleptomaniac Claude Cooper from Cleveland who copped my clean copper clappers from kept in the closet,
Yes?
I'll clobber him.
That's back when comedy was great. And it wasn't for a long time that I realized just how damn good Johnny Carson was as a comedian.
He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And I never necessarily went for The Tonight Show, because I actually used to watch The Tonight Show every once in a while. I wasn't a religious watcher or anything like that, but I think I watched Jay Leno more than I did Carson. But going back and looking at the older Carson bits that he did, and some of the great guests that he had on, I did see his last show.
Oh, you did?
I did see his very last show.
Okay.
He was really underrated. His timing, if you watch the video, the deadpan look on his face, he could pull off stuff that people today really couldn't.
Yeah, it's a different time. Like you don't have, and we were kind of talking about this last week, right? When we talked about the shows that are on the television today and kind of the value systems in those shows, and I think comedy is much the same way. You don't have that type of comedy that's popular anymore. I don't want to say clean comedy, but it really is. It's just it's comedy. You don't have to be offensive or rude or crude or anything like that. It was just good, brilliant material.
Let me throw this out to you, and I'll throw it out to the people listening, and I'll throw it out to the people in the chat room. Name 2 current excellent comedians. Go.
Excellent comedians?
Excellent comedians. And no, you can't pick dead people. We can't pick Robin Williams.
Yeah, he was brilliant too.
And that's my point. You just made my point.
Yeah, I really have to think about that.
Because most of the people that are comedians that we enjoyed, that were handy with a word, a phrase, their timing was great.
Bill Cosby. He's a dirtbag, don't get me wrong, or at least, it seems like he's a dirtbag. But his comedy was funny.
Oh, it was great.
Richard Pryor.
I had all of Bill Cosby's albums. I actually paid money for comedy.
His Fat Albert or
on
his
a
stand-up?
33 and a third, his stand-up stuff. And it wasn't music, and I bought it, nevertheless, back in the 60s, because it was good.
It was good. How many people know that Bill Cosby is Fat Albert? I ran into some people that had no idea that Fat Albert was Bill Cosby.
Wow. Okay. All right.
That was just a that was just a factoid.
Here's another factoid. Fat Albert got retired. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Fat Albert. By the way, Fat Albert is the C-130 in the Blue Angels. And the C-130 in the Blue Angels was JATO equipped, jet assisted takeoff. And part of the cool thing about going to see a Blue Angels exhibition, if you were near the airfield and you weren't over the water in San Francisco Bay, for example, is that
they used to fly from Angel Island.
You could watch Fat Albert take off in, I don't know, it seemed like an amazingly short amount of time. C-130s can take off in a very short airfield and land in a very short distance, too, when they reverse their props. But Fat Albert has now retired. Fat Albert is officially gone. I think they're going to buy, if they haven't already, another C-130 replacement with the Scimitar props. But the original Fat Albert that you and I saw at all the air shows with the Blue Angels, they're now gone.
Thank you for depressing me, BC.
Yeah, I know. It is kind of depressing.
That was amazing.
I'm still shocked that I was able to restart the damn show.
Well, we did. So now let's press on.
Let us.
So I think the most I think the most shocking piece of news for me this week,
okay,
was the shot that the Democrats in the Senate fired across the bow of the United States Supreme Court. That to me was that was the one article I read this week, and it was probably the one article that I've read in a little while where I was like, wow, that is actually that is very significant for our republic.
Folks, we're going to tell you what the article is because, and I have to admit, I didn't know about it until you sent me the article, and then I looked at it. But I don't know if you've been watching social media. Probably not, because you have an actual job, as opposed to some people. There were two spellings of the word in the articles that I saw, in different articles. One of them was that the Democrats are going to bring the Supreme Court to heel, H-E-E-L. And in the one article that I'm looking at here, it says, this is the headline, for example, folks, so you know what's going on. Senate Democrats deliver stunning warning to the Supreme Court. Heel or face restructuring. Now, in this article, the word is spelled H-E-A-L. In other articles, it was spelled H-E-E-L. So that, to me, makes a massive difference, and I do not know yet. Because if you're the Democrats and you're telling the Supreme Court to come to heel, essentially what you're doing is you're saying, Supreme Court, you will obey me like a dog, or I will rip you. That's what I get out of this, or I'm going to rip you apart. You're facing restructuring.
Look, it doesn't matter how you spell the word heel, whether it's heel as in we think you're broken and you need to heal, or whether it's heal as in you need to come into line, heal. The point is the same. And here's why this is such a big deal.
Oh, it's massive.
You have a co-equal branch of government telling a completely independent co-equal branch of government that they have to do something, or else this co-equal branch and separate branch of government is going to restructure this other branch of government that really they have no power over. Constitutionally, they're separate. They are separate and equal, and if they are separate and equal, then the United States Senate should have no say over how the United States Supreme Court conducts its business. And folks, if you don't think that's a big deal, this is a
threat. It's a threat.
But what does that mean for the Republic? It's a threat, and that's bullshit. But what that means for the Republic is that you can now have a Senate that is threatening supremacy over another branch of government, the judiciary, and in particular the United States Supreme Court. And now you have no truly independent branch of government in order to check the other two branches. And if you don't think that's a big deal, then I think maybe anybody who doesn't think that needs to probably re-examine the Constitution and the ratification process and the writings that led up to it about why it is such a big deal to have separate but equal branches of government and why it's set up that way. That is such a major, major problem. Lindsey Graham actually came out today and issued a statement blasting his colleagues in the Senate Democrats for issuing such a threat. But essentially, here's the lay of the land. The United States has some gun legislation that they're going to be ruling on. And you know what's funny, on a side note, that this article came about at a time when Justice Ginsburg has talked about what an honor it's been to serve and how Justice Gorsuch has been conducting himself, or Kavanaugh, and how the court's working and so forth. And you have had conservatives break with the liberal wing of the Supreme Court on a few different cases this year. During this cycle,
you cannot say that Kavanaugh has been a strict, just
conservative,
strict right winger. He has not.
He has taken an independent review of each particular case, whether you've agreed with the rulings or not. He has not been a party line guy, and I think that his rulings, while maybe disagree with the rulings outcome or whatnot, they've been based, at least from what I've read, on solid jurisprudence and in solid logic. I mean, they're very well thought out and aren't based in emotion or politics. It doesn't seem that way to me. And nobody on the court, including Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself, is saying that. So if you have a restructuring of the United States Supreme Court, if the Senate Democrats have their way and there really is no check on another branch of government from the court, that is a major, folks, that is the stuff that communist regimes engage in. That is the stuff that tyrannical regimes engage in. This is exactly the kind of thing that we as citizens are charged with ensuring it doesn't happen. Could you imagine if the court leaned left and if the Republicans had come out and said, you basically better come into line and rule our way, or we are going to restructure you? Could you imagine? There would be absolute, and rightfully so. The left would absolutely lose their mind in talking about how are you going to do this with an independent judiciary? They're tyrants. They're threatening, and that would absolutely be correct. So the ramifications of if this actually happened is huge. But I think another huge issue is the fact that you have senators, United States senators, who have the gall to even have a thought that that's okay. And then to take it a step further and actually send that letter out. What do they think their job is in the United States Senate? What kind of do they realize that their power is limited or checked or on loan from the people? They clearly don't. That's a huge deal.
It's a massive deal. I want to go in the background of the story a little bit because I also found the story that you were talking about where Lindsey Graham made comments about this. But the original story goes like this. Several high-profile Senate Democrats warned the Supreme Court in pointed terms this week that it could face a fundamental restructuring. Okay, how do you interpret that, Clint? Isn't that a threat?
Yeah, do what we say, or we're going to fix it so that you do what we say.
Right. So
either funding or we're going to pack the court or whatever it means. Absolutely.
Sure, that's a threat. If justices do not, so it is a threat. If they do not,
then
if
it's
justices,
an if-then equation, right?
Do not take steps to heal the court in the near future. But you're right, because here's the issue. The ominous and unusual warning was delivered as part of a brief filed Monday in a case related to New York City gun law.
Yes.
Senators Sheldon Whitehouse, Richard Blumenthal, Mazie Hirano, Richard Durbin, and Kirsten Gillibrand referenced rulings by the court's conservative majority in claiming it is suffering from some sort of affliction which must be remedied. The Supreme Court is not well, and the people know it, the brief said. Perhaps the court can heal itself before the public demands it must be restructured in order to reduce the influence of politics. Stop. What's this all about? Alfie. Kavanaugh. This is all about Kavanaugh. It's about Gorsuch, and it's about Kavanaugh. And apparently they're not even making the slightest reference to the fact that, as you rightly said, Kavanaugh has not been voting a strict right-hand ticket.
Nope.
What do we know? John Roberts hasn't done that either, when allegedly he was going to be a massive leaner to the right. No. Gorsuch has not been a complete check the boxes for all things to the right either. These people are independent. So what that tells me is that when Kavanaugh sat in front of the two committees and stated that he will be an independent jurist, guess what?
He was telling the truth.
He was telling the truth.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough.
I honestly don't know that it's about them specifically. I really believe that it's about the court rulings that have tend to favor individual liberties and rights, which we know the left believes in the collective. And that's literally what it comes down to. It comes down to the left believes that the Constitution is a living, breathing document that needs to be interpreted based upon the times we live in.
And interpreted upon other accesses and other forums. That is to say, what occurs in Europe. Because Europe is so much more liberated than we are. So, they don't, in my opinion, they don't believe in the Constitution.
They don't believe in the Constitution as written and as meant, right? Because the founders told us very plainly that if a question comes up as to whether something is constitutional or not, essentially refer back to the time in which it was written and the spirit which the document was born. And if the document no longer works for you, amend it. There's an amendment process for it. It's not a fucking living, breathing document. Otherwise, there wouldn't be an amendment process put in place.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be a U.S. Constitution.
Correct. So the left and the right clearly view the Constitution differently.
Mark 180 degrees.
Yes.
Opposite.
And what the left is saying, what the Democrats in the Senate are saying are, if you don't view the Constitution the way we view the Constitution, we can't have debate or difference of opinion, then we are going to force you to view the Constitution
see it our way.
Correct. And that is tyranny.
It is tyranny. That is
the very definition of tyranny.
That is where our show came from. Okay, yeah. It talks, we're the Shat Show. But we do rail against tyranny, and that is it in its current form.
Yes.
Because can you go back, Clint, to the basic foundation of the Constitution? Because leftists believe one very massively fundamental thing, and we believe another. We believe that our rights are given to us from God.
Or nature. If you're a deist,
yes.
Right? Nature or nature's God.
Right. And
just because we exist, we have them.
Leftists believe that our rights come from government.
Mm-hmm.
That in and of itself is such, I submit, it's such a massive chasm.
It is.
Can it be repaired?
No.
I'm wondering.
No, you can't. And here's why.
And so the next question to you then, Clint, is, because of that chasm, that massive schism, that huge dichotomy between two massive prevailing forces in politics today, if you can't even agree on that in terms of the Constitution, then as far as I'm concerned, if you're a leftist, you don't believe in any of that other stuff.
You don't. They don't. They believe in it.
I think you're absolutely correct.
They don't. They believe in it when it fits when it fits them, right? When it fits their needs.
Electoral College, they lost in 2016. What was the first rallying cry? Remove the Electoral College.
Yeah, popular vote.
Let's just go to a pure democracy.
Pure democracy.
Now, a pure democracy means that if
Majority
we
rules.
if we decide, for whatever reason, in this nation, that the bulk of the people want to, A, remove your guns, or B, decide that, if you've got a 3-bedroom house, one of your bedrooms has to be turned over to homeless people, or someone from Ethiopia, or someone from Madagascar.
Or Mexico.
Or, needy people in France. No, it wouldn't be white people. Then that's what you'll do, because the bulk of the people believe that. The story continues. The last part was quoting language from a Quinnipiac. They quote a poll in this.
Mm-hmm.
Language from a Quinnipiac University poll, which says 51% of the people polled favored such restructuring. In the same poll, 55% believed the Supreme Court was motivated by politics more than by law. Stop. When has SCOTUS ever not been influenced by politics in terms of the appointments?
The appointments are political.
Absolutely.
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be, but they are.
But you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an adult. We realize how these things go, and that's what I swear to fucking God, everything that we're seeing right now is from November 9th. These babies have not gotten over the fact that OMB is in the White House. This is and they would rather see this entire nation destroyed and torn apart because everything and everyone is racist, obist, you name it. It all stems from that. Nadler, Jerry the Hutt, has said that he's going to open hearings again on Kavanaugh.
He has no authority to do that. Kavanaugh should tell him to go eat a fat one.
I think he can.
Yes, yeah, he can. He can tell him to go fuck off. The House has zero jurisdiction over it. Fuck you. Open impeachment proceedings against me. I'm a separate branch of government. You go screw yourself.
And now we have Nadler, who said that they're going to go through formal impeachment proceedings.
Yeah, but they can't even agree. There's Democrats who can't agree whether impeachment proceidings have started or not.
Okay,
he's a loose cannon. And he's going to hurt the Democrats in the upcoming election. I think you said something that I want to address real quick.
We got 2 minutes.
You said that ever since November 9th, and maybe I misspoke or maybe I'm misunderstanding, ever since November 9th, the left has lost their mind and they want to basically destroy this country. I honestly think that they have been on a path to... In their mind, I don't believe they want to destroy the country, but they sure want to reshape it. Well, guess what? Okay. If you're reshaping something that I love, conservatives love, other Americans love, then you are destroying it.
I take it personally.
Absolutely,
it is destruction.
So I think that is by design. Okay.
Oh,
I believe.
Hell yes.
I believe that the left is forcing us or trying to force us into a constitutional crisis. And they're trying to do it on a couple fronts. Number one, they're locking up and tying up the presidency with all this bullshit. The false FISA warrants, the investigations, now the House committee hearings. They are 100% obstructing the President of the United States through process. And there was a U.S. district court in D.C. that actually ruled against Nadler, trying to get subpoenas for additional stuff today.
Funny you should mention that. I also have this story. God dang it!
But my point is, and we'll get to it after the break, BZ. But my point is, I think that the left is forcing us on a couple different fronts. On that front, and now it appears maybe on the front with the United States Supreme Court and Jerry Nadler as well attacking the Supreme Court. Isn't that interesting? Nadler wants to reopen up the Kavanaugh issue, and the U.S. Senate is firing vows against the Supreme Court.
Yeah, imagine
so
that. So
you have interesting. So it seems like that we are attempting, or the left is attempting, to force us into a constitutional crisis on a couple different fronts. And the reason I think they're doing it is because I think they feel they're going to lose big in 2020. we're up against a break.
We got to come back to that story.
When we come back, we have a fantastic story for you. And I don't want to showbiz it. We have a fantastic story for you. BZ's going to get to it.
Was that
a great tease?
I have a great story for you.
For me.
For you.
Then
when we get
since
back.
it's for me, it's also for all of you.
Yes, but mostly it's for you.
Thank you. But I'm going to share.
All right. Are you going to share?
With them.
Okay.
With you.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capitol, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcats Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplanestalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever,
because truth is not always pleasant.
Hey guys, it's Sackhead Clint. I'm excited to tell you about a brand new show here on the SHR Media Network. I'm teaming up with the one and only all-powerful, the bloviating Zeppelin, sitting here to my left, bringing to you a fresh new show here on the network. It's Against Tyranny. And we'll be picking up where the Sackheads left off. Excited to be with you, sir.
Sackheads Against Tyranny.
We're going to chat. We're going to chat Wednesday nights.
SHAT.
Sackheads Against Tyranny.
Wednesday nights, 11 p.m. Oh, it's the same time, right? 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific.
Same SAC time, same SAC channel.
Yep. SHRmedia.com.
See what I did there?
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
Hey, BZ. So the plan's working. You got rid of Sacco.
I love this promo.
Sean is now stepping away.
I never even saw him.
And I know, and insidious. Insidious. You know, we talked about this for, for the last 3 years. And finally coming to fruition.
You know I'm still in the room, right?
It's almost like he's here still. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's kind of...
It's amazing. It's kind of
at you.
It's kind of eerie.
Kind of a poltergeist.
Like a poltergeisty thing.
Yeah, Sackheads Against Tyranny.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Okay, we got questions from the chat room. I'm sorry, the Shat Room. Where folks said, hey, can we call in? And the answer is yes.
Who is it? Who is it?
I don't know. There's people in chat that...
Who wants to call in?
Someone wants to call in.
It depends who it is.
They were asking...
It depends who it is. Hang on, let me look.
Okay. All right, take a peek. Anyway, yeah, the answer is yes. If you want to call, you can do that. But I told you, folks...
Oh, yeah, Simone. Yeah, she can call.
Okay. All right. Well, hang on.
Actually, anybody in our chat room is welcome
anybody.
I just like being like that sometimes.
Okay, I'm going to write the number down. And while I'm writing this down, I'm going to tell you, folks, that if you want to call in, the number is, if you're watching on YouTube or the Facebook page, and you too want to call in, one and all, we'd love to have you. 209-284-3210, 209-284-3210. That number in Poughkeepsie is 209-284-3210. The number if you're from the planet Zephron is still 209.
I'm from the planet Zephron.
284-3210.
What number is 726-517-94631-264?
That's from Bolivia. If you want to call from Bolivia, that's the number to call. If you're not from Bolivia, though...
Okay.
209.
What's 867-5309?
867-5309.
That was a real phone number, by the way.
Was it really?
Yes,
did people call?
They did, and the phone company had to.
Pissed.
The phone company had to actually stop that phone number. That was a real phone number.
I bet people got pissed. Okay, I'm going to play you a cut and then go for a story. This story I bet you've never heard before.
Okay,
but before I play the story, I'm going to play a cut that you have never heard before. And this is a virgin cut.
Whoa.
This has not been heard anywhere.
Anywhere.
On any network.
Are we sure?
Yes. Oh, I know.
To our knowledge.
I know this. No, I know this for a fact.
Wow.
This has not been heard anywhere. However, it's kind of about you.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so listen.
All right.
Okay.
Featuring the effervescent contrarian, Sackheads Clint, plus the unrestrained bulbosity of BZ, the Sackheads Against Tyranny is a real chat show. Doubling your late-night conservative talk show pleasure with double the hosts, you can listen every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Sounds like an
Please
old
note,
British Dracula.
Some contents may have settled during shipping. Member FDIC, batteries not included, warranty voided Montenegro. Featuring the effervescent contrarian.
Don't you love that?
That sounds like a drunk British Dracula.
I sifted through an ass load.
God, that is great.
Of voiceover services to find this guy. And once I heard his demo, I said, oh, fuck me. This is the guy for the new promo.
Oh, that is
So this
great.
is the first time I got to add some music or some sound effects to it.
That is great.
But once I heard that guy's voice, it was like, oh.
Do you like plug it in and it automatically reads it in that? Or do you send it to this guy and he does a read?
No, I go to websites and I run through people's demos because they all want to get picked and they want to get heard. And you can kind of striate them and filter them and whatnot. So I went to this guy's demo, and sometimes they'll have 2, 3, 4, 5 demos. The first 3 demos, I was going, The third demo was that voice that he used. And I went back and I was typing quick like a bunny, and I went, tick, 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 tick. Use that voice. I like that voice. And that's what he did.
Oh, that's great.
So it was
That
great.
is great. Let's play it again. Play it again. That was great.
Oh, I just clicked out of it.
What the?
Okay.
Why would you do that?
Because I thought that we were going to go to another.
Oh, yeah, let's go to a story. We should go to a story.
Okay.
Yeah, go to a story.
All right. You don't want to hear this again?
Of course I want to hear it again, but I thought you clicked out of it.
Okay, well, all right. I'm getting back into it. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go.
Go.
Featuring the effervescent contrarian, Sackheads Clint, plus the unrestrained bulbosity of BZ, the Sackheads Against Tyranny is a real chat show. Doubling your late-night conservative talk show pleasure with double the hosts, you can listen every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Please note, some contents may have settled during shipping. Member FDIC, batteries not included, warranty voided Montenegro.
That is great.
Isn't that?
Yes.
That is classic.
That is great. I love it.
That is a $1 million monster classic, and I had to demo it here.
We're not going to pay you $1 million, sir. If that's your voice, we're not going to pay you $1 million. It's not $1 million deal.
No,
we're not going to pay you $1 million.
I already paid him
$1 million.
No.
You just said it was $1 million.
It was $1 million deal. It made me
what?
No, it made me feel like $1 million.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
When I got it back, because sometimes you can ship money to somebody and they do whatever it is that I can't tell you. Maybe one day I'll do this on the air. I have an ass load.
Literally
an ass load of cuts that I've had other people do in voiceovers that I didn't like. And I paid money for it. Sometimes you can get your money back, and mostly you can't. But they were like, I've had people mispronounce name. Like, okay, most recent example, I had a guy. I wanted, the reason I got this guy is because I had another guy that I heretofore, Tim Hart, for example. He does a bunch of my voiceovers. So I wanted Tim Hart with his big, deep voice to do a Shat Show promo. And he mispronounces the word, he says it, tyranny. Sackheads against tyranny. And I went, oh, you ought to. How can you? Anyway.
Because maybe he doesn't like conservatives.
I know. It makes me wonder. Mike, you there?
I'm here, BZ.
What up, sir? What up?
You know, you talk about the Democrats and this whole threatening the Supreme Court restructuring.
Right.
But can you imagine the Schadenfreude that would occur if this thing went through and OMB wins?
I have postulated this. You may or may not have caught it on my show, not on the Shat Show. Have we talked about this, Clint?
We may have touched on it a couple times. If he wins, then he just gets even more Supreme Court picks.
Yeah. That's just. Listen,
they're going to wait till after. They would wait till after the election.
Folks,
they're not doing anything before the election.
If you thought shit went Jurassic in 2016 on November 9th, because you may or may not remember, folks, leading up to that, a couple of weeks leading up to November 8th, and definitely after November 9th, you may have forgotten about all the riots that occurred all around the United States. Many of those conducted by Antifa, or what grew into Antifa, because they were kind of in their little virgin growing up period.
No, they were in their virgin period in the United States.
Oh, in the United States. Okay, good point. But that's kind of what brought them to fruition, so to speak. Oh, and the other thing is, I want to let everybody know, because, great. Antifa is arming itself up. Okay, just thought I'd tell you. There's an article that just came out called Antifa is Arming Itself Against a Trump Crackdown. Because up to date, Antifa has seemingly been satisfied with slamming people with bike locks and milkshaking people and just beating the holy crap out of them, including gay Vietnamese journalists in Seattle and Portland. Sorry, Andy, I guess you thought your leftists were going to love you, but apparently they don't. So if we thought 2016 corked off on November 9th, any prognostications about November 9th in 2020, Sir Clint?
No, I think you'll have more of the same.
Will it be worse?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be worse because he won the election and he won't be able to get a third term. So I think you're gonna have. I think there's going to be a huge push against. Will he actually ever leave office and all this other stuff? I don't know that it'll necessarily be worse. But it's interesting that Antifa is reportedly arming up against Trump pushback. Look, there's already talk about designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. I 100% think they are. I would actually say, in my belief, is they're an international terrorist organization. They're not just domestic.
Hell yeah!
And if you read the coming insurrection and so forth, I 100% believe that is the Shadow Society and so forth is 100% affiliated with Antifa. That is my belief. I don't have evidence to support that.
Well,
but based upon what that book talks about and what we're seeing Antifa doing here and in other parts of the world and so forth, that makes sense in my mind. But if Antifa is arming themselves up against this, you are talking, if Antifa is designated a terrorist organization, or they're a criminal, or they're just a group, and they arm themselves against a crackdown by government forces, whatever it be, because they are conducting crimes, and they are violating, and they are violating people's constitutional rights.
And their members have been found guilty of crimes,
and they are violating people's rights and so forth, and being violent towards people, trying to shut down groups that are lawfully assembling and so forth, have permits to act and so forth, because they disagree with them. I think that you now have what am I going to say? If Antifa is arming, let's say the federal government, and Trump specifically, because that's what it sounds like is listed, if the federal government designates them a criminal organization or designates them a terrorist organization, domestic, international, doesn't matter, and the federal government is going to take action against them, and they are arming themselves up to resist the federal government, and they're not represented, they don't have a government of their own that's representing them through a state or anything like that, what is that? That is an insurrection.
Well, we've already...
What can the federal government lawfully do in cases of insurrection? What did George Washington do in the case of insurrection? He brought the United States military down on the rebellion and put down said insurrection, because the federal government has the constitutional authority to put down insurrection. The United States military cannot engage in police action upon the civilian population, but they can put down insurrection. So Antifa better be very fucking careful.
Well, let me tell you what they're saying. This is from the article in New Republic. Many leftists and even some liberals are beginning to reconsider their feelings about firearms, joining a loose amalgamation of gun groups. From listen to this, the John Brown Gun Club, or the JBGC, which takes its name from, the abolitionist John Brown, the Pink Pistols, an LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ group, the Liberal Gun Club, and the Socialist Rifle Association. So when we say they're arming up, the groups already exist.
And look, so I want to be clear, I'm not a hypocrite. If members of Antifa want to exercise their Second Amendment rights...
lawfully,
absolutely. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
I'm okay with that. If Antifa is part of, let's say California decides to secede from the Union, and Antifa wants to be their fighting force, I think we have a very different discussion. But Antifa, acting on their own accord, if they want to exercise their Second Amendment rights as individual members, okay, I support that. I have to support that, otherwise I would be a hypocrite. Okay? Once they decide to use those firearms in a criminal fashion, that's a law enforcement issue. That's a completely different matter. If they use those firearms to use against somebody else in order to divest them of their rights, that's another matter. If they use those arms in order to form and engage in insurrection against the United States of America, that is another matter in and of itself completely. So I understand the article, and they're arming up for. It sounds to me like they potentially arming up for insurrection. Is what that article sounds like, right?
This is a precursor to 2020.
So if that's the case, okay. But up until they do something,
they should be able to exercise their rights
100%,
like any other citizen.
100%, absolutely. And I would. So in this case, I guess I'm defending Antifa's
No,
rights
you're defending
I'm defending the Constitution.
You're defending the Bill of Rights,
I really
as
am.
we should.
I really am. Look, I believe in Antifa's First Amendment right. I want them out there saying all the crazy shit they say.
Yes, because the best illustrator of their stupidity and
Is
foolishness
themselves.
is what they say.
Yep. And I will be the first one out there defending their rights to stand up there and engage their First Amendment rights if anybody wants to shut them down. I would be. I disagree with them wholeheartedly, but I 100% would fight for their right to
First
engage.
Amendment.
And I would also fight for their right to engage in their Second Amendment exercise of their constitutional rights. I really would.
The First Amendment exists for challenging speech, not pablum speech.
Correct. Now once they go down a different path, now I can't support that anymore, right?
Yeah, we're taking it. They'll set the pattern. We'll respond to whatever it is that they do. But I have a special story for you.
Okay.
This is what I teased before. Get it? Teased. Mike, this story is for you, too. Here's the headline. I hope you're sitting down, Mike. This is the headline. Okay, you tell me if you believe this or not. Louisiana woman says meth found hidden inside her body part is not hers.
Her foot?
Says
her foot?
The police.
Her foot?
A Louisiana woman allegedly caught with meth hidden inside her vagina said she didn't know where the drugs came from, police said. Ashley Beth Rowland, 23, was accused July 31st of stealing $5,000 from the apartment of a man she'd been staying with for about a week, according to documents published by the maybe Mike, maybe you can pronounce this for me. Ouachita, Ouachita Parish. Ouachita Parish Sheriff's
I like your
Office.
pronunciation better, BZ. No offense, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Ouachita.
The man told. Yeah, we're adults here on this bus, aren't we, Mike? Yeah. The man told the West.
It's a French thing.
It is a French. It's a French thing.
Is their city battle flag white?
Oh boy.
What? That's a legitimate question.
You can't leave well enough alone,
What?
can you? You can't.
The French battle flag. What color is it? It's fucking white. It's all white, devoid of all other color.
How do the French?
Yeah, right.
How do the French?
Clint's right on that.
Thank you.
How do the French view their navy? In a glass-bottom boat. Come on. Roll with me here. The man told the West Monroe Police Department that while he was showering, Rowland swiped his cash and left. Rowland allegedly confessed to police she did take the man's money and left his apartment. The document said a female correctional officer later searched Rowland and inside of her vajayjay discovered $6,233 cash. I'm sorry. And a clear plastic bag of roughly 1 gram of meth, which Rowland denied was hers.
Tell me the $6,000 cash was in pennies.
Now, if you'd ever seen a prolapsed, okay, I'm not even going to go there.
No, let's not go there.
I'm
Let's not
even
go
gonna
there. Let's not go there.
Anyway, that was for you, Clint, and that was for you.
That's amazing,
Mike.
By the way,
first I can understand how the drugs got up in there, but I mean, what was the amount? $6,000.
$6,000. I'm sorry, I was wrong.
That's a big wad of money to be trying to stick up in there.
That's
know?
right. Even you make a good point, because even if it was $100 bills, that's not small.
What if it was $1,000 bills that she got some that were taken out of circulation because he'd been stuffing money there for so long? We don't know the denominations.
No, we don't.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't. What if it's a $5,000 bill?
So
who's on the $5,000 bill?
Clint's right on that.
Thank
Clint's
you.
right.
Yep, thank you. And the $500 bill, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 bill.
Okay, who's on the $5,000 bill?
$5,000 bill?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Woodrow Wilson.
No. There is no $5,000 bill.
Was there ever a $5,000 bill?
No.
There was a $10,000 bill?
Was it really?
There was a $1,000 bill.
Wasn't there $100K?
There was. Woodrow Wilson. That's why I asked if he was also on the $5,000 bill. Hang on, let me look this up. By the way, does anybody know the name of the rebellion that George Washington put down that I referenced earlier? Bonus trivia.
I think it was the Whiskey Rebellion.
Yes, it was. Where's the bell, BZ?
Wait.
Where's the bell?
Mike, this is for you.
Thank you.
Nicely played, Mike. Nicely played. Okay.
And why was that rebellion hatched? Because they didn't want to pay the taxes on the whiskey that they were making.
Now, see?
Yep.
See, doesn't this prove once again, Clint, that we have some of the finest folks in the chat room who call?
We do.
I say so.
I don't think that has ever been up for debate.
Nope.
And you know what's funny is even... Now this is fact. This is 100% fact. We maintain on this show that we have the finest callers and the finest audience anywhere in the business. And the funny thing is, that has never, ever been disputed by Mark Levine.
Nope.
That has never been disputed by Rush Limbaugh.
Nope.
That has
Hannity?
never
Nope.
been disputed by Hannity. Never.
Nope.
Everybody has been silent on the fact that we say that the Shat Show has the finest listeners
Chris
and audience.
Cuomo?
Never has denied that fact. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're absolutely correct. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, sir.
Mike.
All right.
And thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Thanks for being in the chat room. We got about 2 minutes before the bottom of the hour break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about Democrat cheating. And I know, let me just throw this out here. Folks, there have been a bunch of police shootings this week. We had one down in Southern California in Riverside. We haven't addressed it yet. We've had some shootings, the newest one in Philadelphia. And at this point, Clint and I are not particularly interested in going over that stuff just yet. We may do it on the show next week. We're not sure, but for tonight, we're not going to because we've got so many other things to talk about. When we come back, again, Clint, this is a tease now. This is the tease. This is how you do it. I'm going to tell Clint and you guys about another crazy thing that has happened in California about another crazy presidential candidate that you may or may not believe, and I guarantee you.
James Madison, $5,000 bill.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Grover Cleveland, $1,000.
That's okay. I sit impressed. I was going to say I stand impressed, but no, I sit impressed. When we come back, we're going to talk about a presidential candidate in California, and Clint has a Clint story for us. So
I do?
Yeah, remember?
I told it last segment.
Oh, okay.
Is this a standalone show? Or not last segment, but last...
This is another one. Remember the one you told me at the break? So we'll be right back after this.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
For 50 years, I've seen the American people blinded by corrupt politicians, a lapdog media, and deceptive Islam. The one thing the elites fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through Spreaker, iTunes, and SoundCloud, through SHR Media and the Western Free Radio Network, for half a century of experienced perspective on political and social issues, weekly on The Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender, ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capitol, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad. Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Well. We're back. This is the final 25. The final 25 minutes